Welcome to NFL Nexus. You know, sometimes a story is so much bigger than just what happens between the hash marks. And that is absolutely the case with the Seattle Seahawks hitting into Super Bowl LX. On the surface, it's about a game. But when you look closer, you realize this team is fighting a war on two completely different fronts. One is on the field, a deeply personal quest for redemption for their quarterback. And the other? Well, that one's happening behind closed doors, in boardrooms, a corporate saga with billions, and I mean billions of dollars on the line. So let's break down this incredible story. And hey, while we're at it, if you enjoy this deep dive, make sure you hit that subscribe button and like the video. It really helps the channel out. All right, let's start with that first front, the on-field battle. And it really all centers around one guy, quarterback Sam Darnold. This quote right here, it says everything you need to know about him now. Think about his career for a second. It would have been so easy for him to be bitter, to blame coaches or systems or bad luck. But instead, you see this, acceptance. He's not running from the tough times in New York or Carolina. He's embracing them as part of his journey. He's using all that scar tissue as armor, and it's what has forged him into the leader we're seeing on the field today.
So, this is the big question, isn't it? How does a guy go from being a top 3 pick, practically written off as a bust, to suddenly leading one of the NFL's best teams to the Super Bowl? It's not just a comeback. It's a full-blown redemption story, the kind of thing you see in movies. And it all started with a long, winding road.
I mean, just look at this path. It's a roller coaster. He gets drafted number 3 overall by the Jets in 2018. The pressure is immense. The Big Apple, the savior of the franchise, and it just never clicked. We all remember the struggles. So in 2021, he gets a fresh start, traded to the Carolina Panthers. A lot of people thought, okay, this is it. New scenery, he'll figure it out. But that didn't pan out either. Then come the humbling years. 2023, 2024, he's a backup, holding a clipboard for the 49ers and the Vikings. For most top picks, that's the end of the line. But for Darnold, it was all just a prelude to 2025, when he signs with Seattle. And that one move, it changed absolutely everything.
And I love this quote because of how real it is. There's no sugarcoating it. He's not trying to spin the past into something it wasn't. He just lays it out there. Yeah, there were some lows that sucked. That's brutal honesty. You can feel the frustration in those words. But the most important part is what comes next. That's part of it, though. That little phrase signals a huge shift. He stopped seeing those moments as career-defining failures and started seeing them as necessary lessons. It's a level of self-awareness and maturity that you just don't see very often.
So what really changed? It all boils down to this, a complete overhaul of his mentality. He's talked about how, in his younger days, one bad interception could haunt him for weeks, even years. It was like carrying this invisible weight around, and you could see it in his play. He was hesitant, afraid to make another mistake. But now, he's learned to let it go. He understands that in the NFL, mistakes are just part of the game. The key is to process it, learn from it, and then flush it. He's focused on just enjoying the moment, the camaraderie in the locker room, the challenge of each day. And by shedding that weight of the past, he's finally unlocked the massive potential that everyone saw in him coming out of college.
Okay, so we've established the mental shift, the why behind this incredible turnaround. But what did that actually translate to on the football field? Well, it translated into absolute dominance and a direct path to the top.
14-3. Just let that record sink in for a minute. With Sam Darnold leading the charge, the Seahawks weren't just a cute playoff story, they were a juggernaut. They didn't just squeak into the postseason, they bulldozed their way to a 14-3 record and grabbed the coveted #1 seed in the NFC. And this wasn't some offensive fluke where the defense had to hang on for dear life. No way. This was one of the most complete teams in the entire league. Their offense ranked 3rd in scoring, and get this, their defense was #1 in points allowed. They were balanced, they were tough, and they were led by a quarterback playing with a new lease on life.
And the numbers? They back it all up. Over 4,000 passing yards, 25 touchdowns. Now, those might not be record-shattering stats on their own, but in the context of his career, they are monumental. What you can't see in the stat sheet, though, is the poise, the confidence in the pocket, the improved accuracy on crucial 3rd downs. This is the player Seattle gambled on when they gave him that 3-year, $100.5 million deal. A lot of people called it a huge risk, but it looks like one of the smartest investments in the league right now. It paid off, big time.
But here's the thing that separates the good quarterbacks from the great ones. The regular season is one thing, but the playoffs, that's a whole different animal. The lights are brighter, the pressure is 1,000 times more intense, and every single play is magnified. And the true mark of a franchise QB is how they respond in those moments. For Sam Darnold, when everything was on the line, he saved his absolute best football for when it mattered the most.
Just look at his performance in the divisional round against a really tough Rams team, a divisional rival who knows him well. He went out there and was simply surgical. He threw for 346 yards and 3 touchdowns, just carving up their defense. But look at that last bar. That's the most important number on the entire screen: 0 turnovers. In a high-stakes playoff game, he protected the football perfectly. It was calm, it was controlled, it was the kind of masterful performance that completely silenced any and all of his remaining doubters.
So there you have it. That's the first front. A truly beautiful story of personal and professional triumph. The city of Seattle is on fire, celebrating their team and their quarterback. It's a perfect sports fairy tale. But while all that celebration is happening in public, a completely different, high-stakes drama is unfolding behind the scenes. A narrative that has nothing to do with touchdowns and everything to do with the future of the franchise itself. Let's pivot now to that second front.
And this is where things start to get really complicated. Imagine you're a player or a coach on that team. You're trying to focus on the single biggest game of your entire life. And yet, the headlines are being dominated by speculation about franchise ownership. It's a massive and probably pretty unwelcome off-field distraction.
And the thing that lit the fuse on all of this was a bombshell report from ESPN. Now, this wasn't just some blogger's rumor. The report was citing anonymous league and ownership sources, which in reporter speak means people who are in the know. And it claimed, point blank, that the Seahawks would be put up for sale immediately after the Super Bowl. They even reported a targeted sale price. The timing was just incredible. To drop this news bomb just days before the team plays in the Super Bowl, it was pure drama.
So of course, the organization had to respond, and they had to do it fast. The team, which is currently managed by a trust set up by the late owner Paul Allen, put out this very direct, very corporate-sounding statement. A spokesman said, "We don't comment on rumors, and the team is not for sale." It's a flat denial of the report's timeline. But you have to read between the lines here. Because here's the really crucial detail. While they denied that a sale was happening right now, they didn't deny that a sale was coming. In fact, they reaffirmed that, according to Paul Allen's final wishes, the team will be sold eventually. The trust's priority list is crystal clear. Number 1, win the Super Bowl. Number 2, sell Allen's other major sports franchise, the NBA's Portland Trail Blazers. Once those two things are done, well, the Seahawks are next. So this isn't a question of if the team gets sold. It's only a question of when.
And if a sale is inevitable, that leads us to the next massive question. What exactly are the financial stakes we're talking about here? When a premier NFL franchise like the Seahawks finally hits the open market, the numbers involved are frankly hard to even comprehend.
The number that was floated in that ESPN report was a jaw-dropping $7 to $8 billion. Let me say that again, $7 to $8 billion. That's a number with a B. A transaction of that size wouldn't just be a big deal in the NFL, it would be one of the largest sales in the history of professional sports, period. It would completely reset the market for what an NFL team is worth.
To really appreciate how astronomical that number is, you have to look back. The late Paul Allen bought the Seahawks back in 1997, and the primary reason he bought them was to save them. The previous owner was trying to relocate the team. His purchase price back then? Around $200 million. Now fast forward to today. A sale at just the low end of that rumored price, $7 billion, represents a 35-fold increase on his initial investment. It is a stunning testament to the financial juggernaut that the NFL has become over the last few decades.
And if you want some more recent context, just look at the last big sale. The Washington Commanders were sold in 2023 for a then-record $6.05 billion. At the time, people's minds were blown. But the rumored price for Seattle would shatter that record by nearly $1 billion, maybe more. It just goes to show you that the value of these elite blue-chip sports assets is still climbing at an absolutely insane rate.
So why? Why on earth would anyone pay that kind of money? Well, it really comes down to 3 simple, powerful factors. First is scarcity. It's basic economics. There are way more billionaires in the world than there are NFL teams. There are only 32 of them, and opportunities to buy one are incredibly rare. Second is growth. The NFL is a money-printing machine. The television deals are worth billions upon billions, and the league's global appeal is only expanding. And finally, there's the prestige. Let's be honest, owning an NFL team isn't just a business investment. It's the ultimate status symbol. It puts you in one of the most exclusive clubs on the entire planet. And all of this, the comeback story, the billions of dollars, the rumors, the denials, it all brings us right back to this one game, Super Bowl LX. This is the moment where these two massive, parallel storylines, the personal redemption and the corporate drama, finally collide.
This game, on February 8th against an old Super Bowl rival in the New England Patriots, is about so much more than just the Lombardi Trophy. For Sam Darnold, a victory would be the ultimate validation, the perfect final page in one of the greatest comeback stories we've ever seen. And for the franchise, a Super Bowl championship would maximize its value to an absolute peak, right before it's put on the market. The financial implications of a win are massive. The stakes simply could not be higher.
So this leaves us with one final fascinating question to think about. What does this game truly represent for the Seattle Seahawks? Is the victory the perfect storybook ending to the Paul Allen era? A final thank you to the man who saved the team? Or is it actually the beginning of something new? The ultimate launching pad for the next chapter? A new dynasty under a new owner with very deep pockets? The answer to that question is going to be written on the field. What do you think? Let me know down in the comments. And once again, thanks for watching NFL Nexus. If you enjoyed this, please like and subscribe, and don't forget to check out our awesome coloring books for fans of all ages. The link is in the description. We'll see you next time.